Yo, what is up, my people? It's your boy Lou Ciccone back with another video for y'all today. So many of you who watch the Super Bowl may have seen these ads from an organization known as He Gets Us, and you probably had some questions about who these folks really are. I mean, a lot of people have had questions about who they are for a while now. So since these ads started popping up, there have been questions about who these folks really are and what their mission is. And so we're going to take a quick look at their website, and then we're going to talk about the backlash that they have recently received because of some of their affiliations. So let's take a look at this real quick. So it says, He Gets Us is a movement to reintroduce people to the Jesus of the Bible and his confounding love and forgiveness. We believe his words, example, and life have relevance in our lives today and offer hope for a better future. I mean, out the gate, there's some questions about this terminology here about reintroducing people to Jesus when the scriptures say Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So there's really no need to try to reintroduce Jesus or to brand him in a certain way, which is what we find out that they're actually trying to do, brand him in a way that makes him relevant or, more relatable to folks. This all started with a diverse group of people passionate about the authentic Jesus of the Bible. Not too sure about that. While much has been said about him, much is still misunderstood. But we're confident that as people clearly understand, read, and learn for themselves about who Jesus is, they'll find wisdom, hope, and peace unlike any other offered. Be assured that we're not left or right or a political organization of any kind. We're also not affiliated with any particular church or denomination. We simply want everyone to understand the authentic Jesus as he's depicted in the Bible, the Jesus of radical forgiveness, compassion, and love. Notice they leave out Jesus calling people to repent because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It wouldn't be hard to guess that we're led by Jesus fans and followers, people who believe he was much more than just a good guy and a profound teacher, and that Jesus is the Son of God who came to earth, died, and was resurrected, then returned to heaven and is alive today. We also have included many voices in our work here, welcoming diverse perspectives, backgrounds, and experiences to help us address the many concerns and issues we all face. So there's this attempt to keep saying that what they're doing is presenting the authentic Jesus of the Bible, right? When that is the entire question about these folks is, what Jesus are you actually presenting to people? Because you're emphasizing the Jesus of radical forgiveness, compassion, and love, and not emphasizing, even though you do mention that Jesus is the Son of God who came to earth, died, and was resurrected, you're not emphasizing Jesus' death on the cross for sin, right? That's why he died on the cross, was for sin, and that all have sinned and fall short of the glory in God, and that Jesus himself came and proclaimed to people to repent because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. There's obviously an attempt to sort of market Jesus, package him in a nice way that people make him a little more palatable to folks, and to emphasize certain aspects, and I think overemphasize certain aspects at the expense of actually presenting the biblical Christ. It says his message went out to all, and though you may see religious people as often hypocritical or judgmental, know that Jesus saw that too and didn't like it either. Instead, Jesus taught and offered radical compassion and stood up for the marginalized. So when you see this kind of language here where it says Jesus saw religious people as often hypocritical or judgmental, it starts to paint that picture that some folks are out here to judge you, right? Some people who call themselves Christians are out here to judge you, but us good folks over here at He Gets Us, we're not here to do that. And kind of say like, yeah, there's those crazy Christians out there who talk about, sin, and they judge you for the way you live your life. But we over here at He Gets Us, we don't do that. We're not about that, because the authentic, quote unquote, authentic Jesus was all about radical love and forgiveness and just accepting everybody. And that's how he was, and that's how we are over here at He Gets Us. So again, problems with the presentation here right from the jump. So now that we had a look at their website, let's take a look at some of the backlash that they ironically received for trying to relate to folks. Okay, so this article is from CNN. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will leave the link in the description for you so you can check it out yourself. But it says, He Gets Us, a campaign to promote Jesus and Christianity, is running 2 ads during the game as part of a staggering $100 million media investment. To many, the spots will be nothing new. He Gets Us content has been peppering TV screens, billboards, and social media feeds since a national launch in 2022. The campaign is arresting, portraying the pivotal figure of Christianity as an immigrant, a refugee, a radical, an activist for women's rights, and a bulwark against racial injustice and political corruption. Okay, so here is where the issue is. But certain details about the He Gets Us ads have set off alarm bells among young people and those skeptical of religion, 2 groups the campaign is specifically to attract. Some of the campaign's major donors and its holding company have ties to conservative political aims and far-right ideologies that appear at odds with the campaign's inclusive messaging. The campaign has connections to anti-alphabet and anti-abortion laws. The chain of influence behind He Gets Us can be followed through public records and information on the campaign's own site. The campaign is a subsidiary of the Servant Foundation, also known as the Signatory. According to research compiled by Jacobin, a left-leaning news outlet, the Servant Foundation has donated tens of millions to the Alliance Defending Freedom, a conservative Christian legal group. The ADF has been involved in several legislative pushes to curtail alphabet rights and quash non-discrimination legislation in the Supreme Court. While donors who support He Gets Us can choose to remain anonymous, Hobby Lobby co-founder David Green claims to be a big contributor to the campaign's multi-million-dollar coffers. Hobby Lobby has famously been at the center of several legal controversies, including the support of anti-alphabet legislation and a successful years-long legal fight that eventually led to the Supreme Court allowing companies to deny medical coverage for contraception on the basis of religious beliefs. So we have a picture here of David Green, and the article goes on to detail some other stuff here, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back here. I will leave the link in the description for y'all to check it out for yourselves. But the point of the issue is this, is that the very people that He Gets Us is going out of their way to reach are actually rejecting them on the basis that the donors, the people who are providing this vast amount of money for them to market their campaign, are connected to conservative or religious or evangelical causes. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so they have no real identity in terms of, they say they're not left, they're not right. They say that they're non-denominational. It's just a bunch of different people who are like-minded being, put together. So some of the donors some of the donors you don't know. So there's this lack of identity that they have because you can't really tell who they are. And then there is this desire for them to make themselves marketable to the world and still be Christian at the same time. Like, I could have told them to save the 100 mil and they could have just come to ask me about that because that's just not going to work.
What's wrong with you people?
At any time that the world just sniffs or suspects that you are affiliated with any sort of what they would call anti-alphabet people organization, you have to know that you risk getting canceled. This attempt to make Jesus more relatable and inclusive and preach this message of radical love and forgiveness, as they called it, and remain Christian at the same time is just nonsensical. You must be disconnected from reality, or I should say disconnected from the scriptures, if you think that you could somehow be faithful to the gospel, faithful to the scriptures, and be friends with the world at the same time. When Jesus himself tells us that's just not going to work. He says he came to bring a sword and not bring peace, right? He came to bring division because truth is divisive by nature, right? People are going to oppose truth, and especially when it is a truth that is telling them that they are sinners. And so I think that this whole situation here shows how misguided the campaign that he gets us is trying to do truly is. You actually do people a disservice when you talk about the love of God, but you don't talk about the wrath of God that Jesus actually died to save people from, which actually amplifies God's love. So let me know y'all's thoughts in the comment section below. As I said, I'm going to leave the links in the description for y'all to check out. These attempts by people to try to make Jesus more marketable or try to water down the gospel to bring folks in are futile at best. So that's all I have for y'all today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right. God bless y'all, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.